had 0 certified applicants.
So I wonder.
Yeah, it's weird. Because numbers are down. Because people don't normally leave those jobs, but ours was deceased.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Guys, welcome back to Jacob V Weekly. We want to start like we do every week by reminding you to check out Caddyshack of Hamel, Illinois. CATTYSHACKIL.org. You can also find a link to them on my very own website, jacobv.com, JACOBVI.com. The only way to support this show financially, patreon.com/JacobV. You can see exclusive performances by a number of the bands I play with and friends of mine, and exclusive instrumental music that's only available there. Number of things. You can also buy artifacts there, such as an anthology of On the Way files from all my masters of songs I've put out. There's a chunk of 20 of those that are in there for $20. I saw my friend James purchase those on the Patreon this week. So, Mazel. My friend Tim is back with us. You guys may know Tim from our annual Pride stream. Tim and I went to teacher school together, and you were in my wedding with Lucius. And so we're all here together again. How are you? You're going to want to be right on that thing. Don't be shy. Feel free to move it wherever you want it.
I'm doing all right.
Oh, see? Isn't that great? Ain't God good?
Yeah, things are good.
Right.
As they can be.
Yeah.
I think technically everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm only really doing the show right now when we're on the cusp of things, right? So we did our last episode right before the election, not knowing how the election was going to go.
Right.
I was up till 2:30 watching the count, thinking like, well, we got to wait for California. California, so many people. California. What about California? And then I'm falling asleep. California. What about Hawaii? It turns out the whole thing was about Arizona. Apparently, I didn't see that coming. I would have done more on the ground when I was in Sedona. If I had known Arizona was a swing state, I would have done more on the ground.
How long were you in Sedona?
A week, a whole week.
That week mattered.
And I didn't change anybody's mind. I didn't radicalize any children, and I ate good though. The food was good. We ate a whole giant family-sized box of Uncrustables that weekend.
Ooh.
It was like 5 straight days.
What flavor? Like the grape jelly,
strawberry,
or the strawberry jelly.
Yeah, which I like. I like both though. Here's the okay.
Can I tell you something about Uncrustables?
Please.
I've only had Uncrustables at one point in my life, and it was while I was a desk assistant in the dorms, because I had to do work study, and I would go to the fridge on the first floor to see what kinds of things that college students ate, because I was a commuter, and there was a whole box of Uncrustables, and every other week I would just take one. I was like, fuck these people, you get to live on campus, I'm gonna have an Uncrustable.
Yeah, that's not that big of a deal. They're made to be shared.
Yeah, that's
people deep fry those.
Yeah.
You can also put that in your air fryer.
Ooh.
I also eat them straight out of the freezer, still frozen. I don't even let them sit if I don't feel like it.
So they were frozen, yeah.
Yeah, I'll chomp into them hard. Mm-hmm. It's a thin layer of peanut butter. It's not that hard to get through. Mm-mm. It's not that crazy, folks. Eat it out the freezer.
Oh, you needed more on me.
Well, yeah. And then I'm just going to tighten this bolt here.
Don't
worry about a thing. Praise God. So that's one thing I've been doing instead of going back to therapy is I've been watching a lot of Catholic YouTube.
The more you bring up Jesus, the more I think people actually like.
Here's the thing.
You know what, Lou? I'm so close.
I watched a series of interviews with a real life exorcist, and I think he said a couple of things that I've been repeating, and one of them is, I think we've been living through a radical age of disobedience, and I think it's coming to an end.
Yes. And you know what, though? I agree.
Don't you agree?
Deep down, I'm like, I agree.
I fucking agree. These kids.
This is all my fault.
These kids now don't have God at all, and it's crazy.
Right.
I had enough to make me feel like I had faith-based trauma, and that put the fear of God in me. And this is what they were talking about. You should be afraid.
Yeah.
Because if
not enough people are existing like this is their fault.
Because if you look at even the three of us are not traditional people that somebody in the Catholic Church would say that we are like holy in the way we live our life at all, right?
sure.
However, if you do look specifically at the three of us compared to people that are like us that we know, we are much less promiscuous, far less criminal and abusive than
We're not stealing.
yeah. Gay people don't even really steal like that. That's what Lil Boosie said. Did you see him say that on the Breakfast Club? He said, I'd rather have a gay assistant than one of these shooters or anybody. Gay people don't even really steal like that. I don't know what he meant by that because I have stealed in my life.
I'll still girlfriends.
Yeah, but you do it with monogamy. You know what I mean? You lure them into
have that in
new
mind.
monogamy.
Well, I've been indoctrinated in that.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that crazy how deep it
I have
goes?
values.
I'm not a monster.
Yeah, it's got to be like heteronormative somehow. That's like me and Jeff like living in a house together in Afton. We're like, oh, you know,
Like you wear pearls.
I'm gonna get doxxed. Yeah, but yeah,
No, Afton's a big, horrible place. Half my family lives in Afton. I had 2 years of hell teaching there, and in Bayless though, but that address
Right.
says Afton, and I don't think of it as I don't attribute enough positivity to it because it's a lovely community. Clay and his new wife live there
where?
on Ivy, and I'll have to bleep that. And I don't know the house number, otherwise I'd give it to you.
Well, he didn't bring you food. So.
He also didn't bring me another chicken Big Mac. Have you had the chicken Big Mac?
No,
Not a sponsor.
I have to draw the line somewhere. I think.
Yeah. See,
But
this is what
when I
Lucius was
heard
saying. We
you-
still have standards.
When I heard you like eating it and describing it, I thought that I could go for one. But I'm a Big Mac person. Like I love to
Yeah.
get a Big Mac.
There's
meal.
no onions on it because the onions are exclusive to the beef patty.
Yeah, I
And-
wouldn't want onions on it anyway.
Well, right.
But do they
That's
put
part of what I
pickles
like
on
about it. There's, I think, one pickle on there.
Should have more.
I mean, it could be 3 pickles. I thought you wanted no pickles,
No.
so I was shooting low. I was like, Tim wants there to be 1 pickle, so I'm going to say 1 pickle. I have no idea how many pickles I just ate.
I don't like 3 or 4.
Yeah, yeah.
On each layer.
So my thing is, we didn't talk about this with Gary because I didn't want to put him on the spot because Gary sometimes will say some wild shit too. So I didn't want to cover this too much with Gary Reinhardt, our former guest. However, shout out to him. So Trump wins the popular vote. Can we talk about that for a second? We haven't done a show about this since it happened. You know what I mean? And
Did he?
well, that's what they say. That's a great question. He was the one saying it was rigged, and then he got all the votes.
He's like, wait a second.
She didn't get one more vote than
like,
Biden anywhere.
Let me get on the phone real quick. You guys went a little too
Guys,
far.
you went a little too hard when I said you
when
got to
I
make
said
it.
there wasn't going to be another election.
This
ever
is
again,
just like at my free trivia game that we do every Thursday, Bluewood. We just had a 3-week-long cheating scandal where we found out halfway through the second week that a team that was winning by not a little bit was totally cheating. What? And then ended up just taking. I had Cameron observe them the third week, and I had him count how many points they earned by looking the answers up specifically. And for one specific round, it was at least 6. Which, so if I just doxed those points, it was easy enough to keep them from winning the game that it wouldn't upset anybody. But they didn't say anything to me about it till the very end of the game. But they weren't here last night, so they I think I scared them off. But apparently they got in trouble for cheating at Urban Chestnut's trivia game.
I wonder if this is the people who are winning a ton at my trivia.
What do they look like? Gingers?
No, were they?
Kind
They're
of.
like a group of, but I think they're really nice.
This
so
is
I-
one couple. They're very
Oh,
sweet.
it's a couple? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, there's like a whole group of folk that come to Rockwell and they win a lot, but they sit in the back, so I can't
That's not far
see.
from my house at all. What night is that?
Monday nights at 7. We get done at 8.
I sometimes
30-ish.
rehearse there.
You what?
I sometimes rehearse at that time, but not always.
It's pretty fun. I'll come to yours if you come to mine.
Yeah.
Although Thursday nights I have class.
What are you doing right now?
I am getting certified to teach English as a second language.
Oh, that's a good idea. We need it.
Yeah, I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, one of my cohabitators in my job right now is the ESL teacher for
Really?
the building. she has a small classroom adjacent to my library, and she doesn't speak Spanish. Do you speak any Spanish?
I'm interested in, like, after getting this done, doing some sort of classes, because I think I need to be, like, in a class to learn.
And with your understanding of languages in general, I think you could get enough to get by and to be meaningful to you, and it wouldn't be too weird.
Like teaching English as a second language, or
like if you started learning some Spanish, like I don't, you wouldn't need as much because the kids know a lot of English, even if they're still emergent,
right?
And I do love that. What's in the envelope? I can't.
Okay, so last time, you guys brought up Becky Queen of Carpet.
Becky Queen of Carpet.
This is an autographed picture of Becky. Yeah. So I was shocked when you guys were like, "Is she alive? Is she dead?" Last fall, so a year ago, I went to her estate sale. There was a Riverfront Times article. Are they still around?
No,
that's right.
They just sold
Yeah, they
out.
died.
Yeah,
they're dead too. R.I.P. to the RFT.
Yeah, I think there was a Riverfront Times article that said that there would be a estate sale for Becky, and it was at like a VFW hall in Creve Coeur.
Yeah,
I was expecting to see like the gowns and everything that she wore, and
she rented those.
Did she?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like they were probably custom made. But I ended up buying her dress that she wore on Dancing with the St. Louis Stars. And that's my story. It was fun.
And it came with that?
Well, actually, so her daughter, who was there leading the estate sale, it was like two men in like Hawaiian shirts and her daughter. And her daughter was just really nice to me about the fact that I was like, oh man, I can't believe that, this stuff is here and I'm going to buy this one. And so on the way out the door, she was like, I'll send you another autograph if you want, just, like reach out. And so we linked up on LinkedIn. Or it might've been on that she messaged me or we messaged each other and she was like, yeah, I'll send you one. So she mailed it to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know her last name. Becky.
Rothman.
Of Rothman Furniture?
I don't.
They can't be in cahoots. That seems.
Well, I would say the opposite.
They were related.
I would say they have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I can't remember if they are related. If the furniture.
I'll do some digging.
Will you dig that up?
Watch them be the cousins of the Gettekers too.
You know what? I lived in Afton on the same block as the Getteker guy.
Really?
Yeah. The original store was on that corner of Pilot and Gravois. Mm-hmm. And then he lived a couple of houses down from there. And he was real tall and skinny, and he would play volleyball in his backyard with hardly any clothes on.
Interesting. I went to school with someone who played volleyball with his kids.
They're LSD, right? Or LDS?
I have no idea.
LDS. They're
definitely not LSD though.
They're not on LSD, but they're Mormon, I think. Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, okay. I thought learning disabled.
Yeah, he's learning disabled and he's Mormon. Becky Rothman. But Rothman Furniture is different from Carroll House. That's who I was picturing, those goddamn siblings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I hate them.
Brooke and Amy.
No, I thought it was a man. And a woman.
Brooke and Amy Dubman. It's Brooke. Brooke's the guy. Amy is...
Brooke's a man?
Yeah.
It's not immediately clear if they're related.
It's not immediately clear. You sound like Jordan Peterson. That's what he says all the time. It's not immediately clear. If you have a father and then you don't have a father, what happens? Do you know who that is?
No.
Dr. Jordan Peterson.
Oh, Jordan Peterson?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah,
I don't know enough to
No, I don't keep up with
impressions of him.
No. You've never heard him talk?
No, I don't think so. I think I've only read things he's said.
Do you have a favorite veteran?
I would say B. Arthur.
Oh, God, that's a fucking great answer.
Yeah.
That's a piece of shit.
Thank you.
What did she do?
She was in the United States Army, I believe.
Doing what?
being B. Arthur, scaring the shit out of
B.
people.
Arthur shit, getting that boat clean. That boat was clean.
Being tall and hoss and having
Yeah.
a deep voice and telling, the enemy to stand at the gate.
Yeah. Stand at the gate. Did you keep up at all with the UFO hearings in Congress this week?
I did not. What's new?
That
stuff creeps me out. I just recently started following, though, like Reddit subreddits about paranormal stuff.
Yeah, they did a big hearing, and there's a lot of stuff they don't know, and there's a lot of stuff they can't tell us, and then there's still, but there's definitely non-human aerial phenomenon, and that also carries
she was
over.
a Marine. Sorry.
She was a Marine?
Yeah.
B. Arthur was in the Marines?
Yeah.
My favorite veteran was a Marine. He's my cousin.
Oh.
We talked about it on the last episode.
Damn, that makes me kind of baffled.
No, I thought it was so funny that because I was talking about my cousin, and you're talking about I didn't even know B. Arthur was a Marine. Marines are the few, the proud. It's that easy to be a Marine.
Anyway, back to UFO hearings in Congress.
Mm-hmm. They have recovered craft. They have reversed engineered technology from recovered craft. They have recovered biologic material in the form of perhaps remains. There has been no confirmed verbal communication with extraterrestrials.
When did that happen?
This week. The
Recently?
hearing was just 2 days ago.
No, but like the hearing happened this past
2
week.
days
but when
ago.
did
Yeah,
they
Wednesday.
When did they find the remains and all of that stuff? Is that recent? Because
No,
why
it dates
are they
back to
spending
Roswell.
time on that?
Well, this is also part of the problem. The people that were in the hearing are advocating for further disclosure.
Why? Who are these people?
Some of them have worked in the sector before, but also that because we need to know for some reason. Also because it's dangerous, because they go in and out of the oceans and they interact with our aircrafts and our airspace, and they don't comply with our conventions of maritime or aerial performance. That's all happening.
So they're the hearing, is it to place laws around UFOs, what they're allowed and can't do? They just want to know what's going on.
They're just discussing.
Yeah.
They're just discussing. I mean, because it's, it's great. It's really, really good. What about Diddy's still in jail? Leo is in Italy, and apparently Oprah has fled the country.
I did not know that.
I am seeing dozens and dozens of videos about this by multiple different people every single day. That they think Leonardo DiCaprio's in Italy, because we know he was at a lot of those parties. And apparently Oprah is nowhere to be found.
So do you think that the Leo memes that are about him not liking anyone under the age of 25, was that all PR from his own people just to make people believe that he isn't,
No.
Okay.
No, I think he...
Is that erring on the side of a conspiracy theory? I
mean, anything's possible,
right?
If they let you talk about them, you got to wonder like what they took out. If that's what they let us believe, that's brilliant. I mean, that could be the thing that's happening.
Do you know, out of all of this, that really has blown my mind is that Jennifer Lopez didn't sing any of her songs.
Well, that makes sense to me.
What do you mean?
Because she was a dancer.
She didn't sing any of her songs.
She didn't, apparently. I just heard that.
Like all
It
it's
was
all
apparently
uncredited.
Ashanti.
Ashanti sang a lot of it.
Ashanti sang a lot of that one album. Did you hear this?
No, I didn't hear this.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Ashanti sang like "I'm Real." It's probably actually Ashanti.
And then what they do is they can do like one very monotone vocal track of J-Lo mixed in with all the beautiful vocals of the other people, and then it's not totally Milli Vanilli.
As long as it's 5% J Lo, it's 100% real.
It's like Angus. Like if the cow is 51% black, it can be Angus beef, even though that's not true Angus. That's hybrid Angus, brother. Hybrid Angus is the name of this episode. Write that down.
Hybrid Angus.
Oh my God, things are hard, and and I feel bad, but I also think this could be a good opportunity for us. There's going to be shoes to fill in the media space.
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Whose spot are you taking?
Oprah's.
Well, I could do like the Dr. Phil thing that you mentioned.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I'm going to be the new Oprah because Oprah's going to federal fucking prison.
You think?
Or she's going to move to Guam with fucking, what's his name?
Leo?
Or whoever. Like, who's the...
Stanley.
Roman Polanski. She's going to go move into Roman Polanski's house, and they're going to live in exile. I don't know that Oprah necessarily participated in explicit sexual activity as much as she's supported covering things up. I think she bought a bunch of the tapes.
No way.
That were for sale, is what I'm hearing. And that why her name is getting brought up is because she's seen a lot of them, or she knows what happened to a lot of them, or blah, blah, blah. Leo was at a lot of those parties.
So where do we go from there?
Well, that's the thing. So...
Because you said there's going to be spots to fill.
The trial does not happen until May.
Okay.
So, assuming he goes to trial, we get that far in the process without him making some kind of a deal or without him, dying or something. It's crazy. Apparently, Jamie Foxx is saying that Diddy poisoned him, and that's why he was in the hospital last year.
Wow.
And then that's why the FBI started the investigation into Diddy that led to the indictment that we've been talking about recently.
He poisoned Jamie Foxx?
Allegedly.
Wow.
But the trial hasn't happened yet. So
where do you get your news like that? Do you still get on Perez Hilton?
I do keep up with he's got TikTok stuff now where you can get some updates from him on that. Also, any of your favorite news sources now have clips on TikTok. Yeah. Where they'll take just their normal broadcast and they'll chop it up into 9:16 and make it into 3-minute clips, which is so smart because they already have all the stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're already doing all the work. It's probably one button by now to convert a clip from their full-size broadcast to it. But YouTube, I have YouTube Premium, so if I need anything, I start with YouTube because I can get right to it. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to say, do you want to buy Kleenexes first or anything? And I bought something on the TikTok shop today. It's a phone thing for my car. It goes on your rearview mirror.
Like you put your phone up on there so you can film yourself driving? Yeah,
or so you can, watch porn. Keep your eye on the road. Cruise control. That is some of my favorite adult film work happening right now as a guy that likes to shoot in his Tesla while they're driving.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's good. I don't recommend that. He seems to be a professional. I don't know where he lives. Could be the United Arab Emirates. I'm not sure.
Where are you finding that?
On the hub.
What's the source?
On the hub. That's hubbed up. He's on the hub. I don't know his name. So we covered that. Did you hear that somebody made an exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant and that it spent 8 months at Trump's house in Mar-a-Lago?
I did not hear that. But was it Elon Musk? I heard he's been hanging out there.
Well, the architect is unnamed. But that would make sense if Elon Musk was on some bullshit and wanted to make the architect that...
How would he know what that looked like?
Well, the Ark of the Covenant is actually described in the Gospels in great detail, because God commands Moses to have it built. And so with great specificity, like it's not exact measurements like meters or centimeters or anything, but it's like relative to something. And I think it was wood, and then it was completely coated in gold.
What do you think is inside?
Well, Moses' Ark of the Covenant is where they put Aaron's staff and the slabs where the Ten Commandments were written originally. And they think that one is probably being guarded by monks in Ethiopia.
Oh.
There's also, people talk about Antarctica a lot because they think the Russian Orthodox head guy conspired with the Pope to take the Ark of the Covenant to Antarctica, but there's also apparently 10 of these.
Replicas or 10 arks?
Well,
like
because that's the thing, because the original wasn't an original any more so than anything else, because the original was described by God, allegedly, and then built according to the specifications. And then it amplifies the holy power of its contents, apparently, is what I've been... This is what I've been doing instead of going to therapy.
What's the power of the staff? What is that supposed to do? It's Moses' staff or Aaron's staff?
I can't remember. It's one or the other. But Moses put the tablets from the Ten Commandments in the original Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
And there's like monks in Ethiopia that guard this chapel that they don't let anybody in, and they all die and they get cataracts because they have like radiation poisoning from guarding this
radioactive ark.
Well, it's a holy relic that's buried under this cathedral there, and they don't tell anybody what it is, but that's what they think it is.
Wow.
And so I've been thinking about that a lot, and
why?
Because it comes up in my TikTok and or my Instagram or whatever, and I go down the rabbit hole. That's my thing. I've always sought knowledge like that. Like I've always been kind of a
late night,
an autodidact,
like sort of scrolling through Wikipedia.
Yeah, but it'll take form where I'll get really into a subject for a couple of weeks and kind of really see if until I kind of figure out like what I need out of it. Like I've done that with things, learning how to do different things, or my wife just taught me how to make candles.
I want to do that.
Yeah, it's really easy. It's really fun. We should do it as a group. We should get our friends together.
Yeah, my friend Sarah really wants to do it with me. We want to make them for Christmas presents.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. We do them for special occasions and gifts and things like that. They got to
buy your wax.
Candle Science, I think.
Online or at a place?
Yeah, no, we have it ordered online, which is really liberating.
Do you make them scented?
Yeah, we use essential oils from Candle Science as well. And there's a new one dropping tomorrow, exclusive to the baby shower.
Oh, damn.
I know. I'll save you one because we have one reserved with your name on it.
Oh, someone spelled my last name wrong in my invitation.
That would have been my fault.
Okay,
because I
believe it.
That's probably the spelling I put in my phone originally, 15 years ago.
Yeah,
is probably the case.
Crazy.
So I apologize.
How could you?
I know. I'm a piece of shit.
Piece of fucking shit.
I am. But Trump winning the popular vote, to me, it makes it so like I'm not even mad at him. Like I remember the recount where Bush Jr. ended up in the White House. And feeling like, oh, the Republicans are like exploiting the Electoral College to undercut the popular vote. And I didn't like that. And that happened several times thereafter, since then, with different candidates and different elections and whatnot. But this case, even with Trump last time Trump won, it wasn't necessarily the popular vote. It was the Electoral College vote.
Right.
And but this time, it was both. So it didn't matter. So I don't know how to feel. I feel like I should be more worried about the 74 million people that voted for him.
Yeah.
That are surrounding me at random at any time. And less worried about him individually.
Yeah, and like what percentage of them is like, are they prepared to like take action or like, do they like all of the views of Trump, or are they just kind of like a one trick voter, like a lot of the people around me are just like voting just pro-life,
Well, and there's tons of that, especially
right.
in this region.
So
where we are.
I'm concerned about legislature. I'm concerned about the control of the House and the Senate.
Yeah, that's certainly more tangible. That's certainly more the thing to worry about, is what I think I'm trying to say.
Yeah, for sure.
Than him specifically, because,
for him, it just makes us kind of look dumb, as a country.
Yeah.
We kind of, it's like, the first time he was elected, that was when I first truly thought the president really means nothing in terms of law or in terms of, I don't know, really much. And that they're truly like
it's a figurehead.
It really seems that way.
Mouthpiece.
And like, so, we have this embarrassing loudmouth who's the figurehead of the United States. Big surprise.
It really feels like to me that I was raised in a situation where public school was allowed to dictate to me like what the world should be like, in terms of like how to treat other people and how to approach diversity and what like that. Like public school in the 90s, we got that a lot faster than a lot of other people. So it feels like maybe that's not actually how most of the world functions, and that like for example, since 2017, we've been really trying to, amplify the voices of victims of various forms of abuse. And it feels like, they're trying to tell us we don't actually care about that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think that's being said loud and clear.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, listen, if eggs are $4, I don't care what they do to you.
Right. It almost feels retaliatory. That's the
Retaliatory.
thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I say retaliatory wrong?
No, you did it great.
Oh, okay.
I was affirming, validating. And and again, especially, it's just like I spend so much time like actually with marginalized groups of people and like trying to, give, support and, whatnot in whatever way I can, whether it's, professionally or, socially or whatnot. It's just like, I thought more people valued that, I guess.
Interesting. I had that sort of strange, sad awakening this last week because I work in a library.
Yeah.
And I really thought the same thing, and then I was confronted with that truth recently too.
Because we've always suspected that the people that refuse to work or live in those places where you can interact with people, certainly of an economic diversity, that like they don't just not want to be around what they would call that element of society, but that they like are like antithetical to it, like antagonistic to it. Mm-hmm. Which is great because if that's their energy, I'm glad they won.
Right.
Because I don't want them to be tempted to be a sore loser. Because I don't know what that would look like, especially being in a purple state or a purple city in a red state, and that whole thing. I didn't even see how it all shook up. Mayor is the next one, right? Mayor wasn't up this time, was it?
Right. No, it was not.
Those are separate. So that'll be a whole nother thing we got to dive into because I finally got Tashara in there and then now everyone's mad at her. So I don't know who I'm supposed to like anymore. And then RFK is going to be the health guy.
He's anti-vax too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's backpedaling on that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On anti-vax?
Or
Yeah.
being the guy?
No, on the vax part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Probably in part because Trump made a vaccine that I'm sure he doesn't want RFK to belittle from Operation Warp Speed. That'll be good, though. There'll be dead bears all over the White House lawn. There'll be fucking whale skulls up and down the bitch. I mean, that guy is crazy. And it's been frustrating to me because I surround myself mostly with women and queer people and people of color. So like going into work the next day after the lecture was over, I like looked at all my black coworkers and I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. But apparently, a third of my coworkers voted for Trump too, apparently.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Huge numbers.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty startling. Yeah.
Even the Puerto Rican vote.
Yeah.
Even after that whole, what we thought was going to be a scandal.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly what all those people want or think they're getting, but I hope I get it.
Me too.
I hope I get what
I'm in the exact same headspace.
If you guys are right, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope he saves us. I hope he stops World War III. I hope he
I'm afraid
fixes
that
the
he's going to
economy.
save
somebody
you at the expense of like me.
Yeah.
You
that
know?
could absolutely happen. I got a fresh white baby coming. I'm in the club. I'll get into Elysium. Y'all may need to get a white baby.
Hey, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that isn't if they don't murder all of my community first.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm not for. Can I say that? Dead
Yeah,
ass?
totally, yeah.
Can we talk about that?
What?
That men don't watch women's sports. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's a huge problem with the rating differential between men and women's sports. And we know this as librarians, that boys are really good about reading a book about a boy. They struggle with a book about a girl, whereas girl readers are often more open to either in their protagonist, right? Same way with sports. And then all of a sudden, the past 8 years, a bunch of middle-aged billionaires are obsessed with whether or not we let certain types of women play in women's sports. They are also not watching. And it just feels like so antagonistic that they're so obsessed with this issue that doesn't have anything to do with them. I would feel like they were targeting me. If it applied to me, I would feel like unduly targeted.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like most of the stuff that they're doing is antagonistic because it doesn't revolve around their lives. It's like, it's just other people's lives that they're meandering in and, like, feeling like they're afraid that they're going to get affected.
And people do it with schools all the time. Yeah. People who would never consider teaching in a school love to say what teachers are doing wrong or what teachers should be doing. And it's the same way, but we're actually talking about like people in their own bodies and their own identities and their own careers. And you're choosing to go out of your way to poke your nose into their business and to tell the people in their community how you should feel about them when you don't know any of them, but you know they listen to you. And so you're going to say, you know, I don't want someone who was born a man swimming next to my daughter. When one, a lot of the people that scream that are not actually experiencing that firsthand. And it just seems like they're going way out of, like, if Joe Rogan's daughter got a silver medal behind a trans woman in some kind of competition, maybe I could understand a little bit his obsession with the issue. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. He's talked to some people that maybe that happened to them, maybe.
Yeah.
He brings it up all the time.
Yeah, I think that the issue of sports is just astronomical because that's where I start to get really concerned about like fitting in and belonging, right? Because I can't even pretend to know what football's about. And I've, seen it.
I've spent hours watching it and I've not caught much. Like anything about the downs, I have no idea what that is. I know
why are they running alongside the field? I don't get that.
Yeah, and when to start and stop.
Right.
And why are there so many commercials? I don't know.
I don't get it.
There's so many commercials because it's the only thing people are using traditional television for.
Yeah, I realized that. We watched football for the first time together ever on Sunday. We just came across it on Peacock. And we started watching it, and I was like, wow, this feels a lot like watching real TV, which was a sort of nostalgic feeling. But then at the same time, I kept thinking, this is so boring. Nothing's happening. And yet this has such a pull in our society.
It's the only reason people have TV.
Yeah.
It's 90-something% of the ratings of TV all the time when it's in season. And
so I think that when it comes to these like hard men who are so concerned with gender.
Yeah.
What giant pussies they are.
It's just so weird.
It's weird, but it's just, it's like, what would it be like if everyone were able to compete at the exact same level in a sort of sport just to see athletic, like to actually see athleticism, right? Like to have all genders racing against each other in the Olympics, to show actual hard work, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't require, like, the idea that a person is cheating because they were born with male sex organs and are competing in what is considered women's sport is so stupid.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know why they don't get it. Because we're not bringing it up all the time.
Because we're not thinking about it. Like, we're not, like, because our lives don't revolve around sports.
Also
like,
true.
It doesn't matter at all who wins or loses these sports. But to those people, it's the end-all, be-all.
Yeah.
I mean, this Mike Tyson and Jake Paul
It's the same problem we had
though.
growing up in the suburbs, and yours was more out there than me, but that, the obsession with football, for example, at the high school level when we were high school students was very exclusatory. It was like, I mean, I don't know where I fit in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we weren't participating athletically. I don't want to speak for you. Did you play high school football?
No, I certainly did not.
Yeah, okay, right.
I was asked if I would for a very long time.
And we see the preferential treatment of student athletes by administration and leniency from teachers.
And then it gets even more upsetting. I think as a teacher, it was upsetting. Right? Like, it sucks to watch the mediocre kids.
Why is this kid leaving my class 45 minutes early when he can't read?
Right, exactly.
Can he go to football in 45 minutes when I get done teaching him how to read?
Right.
Yeah, I don't get it.
God.
I don't get it. The literacy crisis is bad. We're some of the last literate people on Earth.
Holy cow.
And even amongst people in our age group, it's not great.
No.
But because they're out of practice and, the deficits definitely started back then. Which is funny because I'm a librarian now. And, but in a world where, I feel like Gary Oldman in the Book of Eli. I'm like, these people don't know how great these books are. We need these books. And when you look at it from a public library standpoint of, that's an installation in a community that really doesn't even have that much to do with the books.
Anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything anyone really wants is maybe in one of your databases.
No, there's a lot of social work that's happening. People, they do come to get their books. They want to browse or they want to pick up their stuff that they've requested, but there's a lot more of like helping people who need resources to things, like not research. Some people need help with research, but
not as often.
It's kind of
because
like,
they'd be affiliated with a school or they'd have a school library.
Or, it's like folks who are coming in to ask for help applying for jobs.
Yeah.
Doesn't require archival knowledge.
Yeah. And that's such a huge problem that, I could certainly make a business out of that. Just filling out forms for people online that, like, to us, it's like, oh, this is so much easier than having to do it on paper or whatever. But also, like, it's so intimidating to so many people to look at. You have 9 pages of required fields to fill out, even if it's just about yourself and your experience. I hate doing it. And I already know what to say. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you have, especially if you're an older person, an older blue collar person who all of a sudden has to get a new job now.
Imagine if you just got out of prison.
Oh my God.
You have no clue. You can't even
you don't have an email address.
You can't exactly, and you can't even walk in. You can't just walk into a place and say, "Can I get an application?" anymore.
No. We got some of that. I had a paper application I filled out on the spot at Mike Duffy's in Kirkwood when I was 15.
Yeah, but that was also
20 years ago. Yeah.
20 years ago.
It'll be 20 in a couple. And, but that's but they don't care about those people. Mm-mm. And they don't care about us because we spend all our time with those people. Mm-hmm. So we got to hustle and grind. We got to I'm going to go home and make candles. We're going to sell candles in the TikTok shop. If you need an organic vegan candle, hand poured by my pregnant wife, I don't know what else we're supposed to do. I don't know how else we're supposed to get there. Everybody you ever loved is going to federal prison, or they're gonna bribe their way out of it. Aliens are real, but the government really doesn't understand enough about them to give you anything interesting yet. The Ark of the Covenant was at Mar-a-Lago for 8 months. There's a literacy crisis. What about who do you got on the Tyson Paul fight tonight? It's crazy.
I really want it to be Mike Tyson. So I'll put it on Mike Tyson. I don't know anything about Jake Paul.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants Jake Paul to win. Because if he wins, he beat up a 65-year-old man.
Yeah, it's so weird. How did this happen? Did he just start? Was Jake Paul tweeting thought it would be a good being I could beat his ass, blah blah blah?
No, I think he did a lot of the back channel and figured out how much money could we give Mike to do this, and then I think, he did a lot of that legwork, and then came at Mike with an offer that
Did
would
you see
be
the video of him getting slapped yesterday?
Yeah, on their face-off, their weigh-in.
Yeah.
Which is great, though. I'm glad they're revved up.
Yeah.
But it's sad because it seems like in the promo, I saw a Netflix official promo, Jake was saying that everyone wants to see him get knocked out. But he did so much of the work to push this along into existence. So it's like he doesn't want that, but it's like, so if he wins the fight, he knows he's upsetting everybody. Mm-hmm. And still trying to win the fight. It's just weird to me. But I also don't think. I mean, I thought we'd be beyond combat sport, much less contact sports, but combat sports seem to be more popular than ever.
Interesting. I think now that you say that, I would like to see more combat sports. Probably.
I do love a hockey fight.
Yeah.
If there's a real genuine fight where you have two young guys who are getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be on that ice, and they're going to knock each other's teeth out, even though they know they're going to get in trouble. They may get benched the rest of the game. Oh, that's good. Yeah. If you could trigger a fight in NHL 96 on Sega Genesis when I was a kid, that was a big deal. Because it turned into like Tekken for a minute. You had a little health bar, and you just had one punch you could do. But it wasn't easy to get that going. And it's a magic, primal thing. I'm also against dog fighting. I don't think that's good.
No.
I would rather watch people fight than dogs.
Absolutely.
I think dogs should maybe judge the human fights. If we had a panel of dog judges, that's so cute.
What about just like wrestling, not the WWE or
that I prefer. I'm wearing
like
a Macho
Greco?
Man Randy Savage
I do see
shirt
that.
right now.
I like it.
Clay had a Macho Man themed birthday party last weekend.
Did he?
Yeah,
That's fun.
it was a surprise, and we all dressed up
As Macho Man Randy Savage, or
adjacent. Yeah.
Did he show up as Macho Man, or did you have?
Well, she surprised him with the get-up when they got there, and he realized what was happening. She said, "And here's your outfit," and so he was able to go change and join the party. Because I was worried about that, but she had thought about that. She's good with that.
That
Smart.
sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm jealous about their birthday dinner they're having because she can cook. I bet that shit's gonna be good. And it's winter. Some of my coming up, and some of my wife's favorite recipes are she does a good chicken tikka masala that is so good in the wintertime. And
Jeff makes a really good chicken and dumplings.
Keenan makes a great chicken and dumplings.
Yeah.
It's like you can't even have any left over. Does he do it in a cast iron like Dutch oven?
He did it in a giant pot.
It's so
yeah.
good. And you can't eat that in the middle of the summer, though. It's just not as appealing.
No.
You need to have a chill on you. And my thing is, what about
What's his name?
Yeah.
Jake Paul?
Yeah. That's happening.
I was thinking Logan Paul. Who's that? His brother?
His brother, the skinnier one.
Which is the one that went to Japan and it pissed everyone off?
That one, the skinnier one.
Logan?
Yeah.
I came across on Reddit this other TikTok provocateur who was like pissing people off in Korea. Have you heard of this guy?
Yes.
Who is that? And what was he doing that for?
Oh, I don't know that much. I just saw the same clip you must
okay.
have seen of the backlash.
Yeah, of like Koreans going up to him and just beating the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because he was like being really disrespectful.
Yeah, I keep hearing about this guy too. There's English guys like this. Like there's other countries where this kind of comedy is more common, but that like but we also did it with Jackass and whatnot, where people go out to unsuspecting people and really mess up their vibe, right? There was a comedian who snuck into somebody's birthday party at Buckingham Palace. It was like a costume party, and he was like an Australian comedian, I think, and but he got like blacklisted, like deported, like in a military escort or something, like for crashing that party like that. So I've never liked confrontation enough. Those people do it on TikTok and stuff all the time, where they'll like go up and scream in somebody's ear, or the guy with the leaf blower that'll blow somebody's wig off, and then they start screaming at him. I would never want to give somebody a reason to start screaming at me.
Yeah. It's not the same as Candid Camera.
No, because also, yeah, it is different because it's often the person operating the camera too. It'll happen. Like that's my least favorite, when it's POV of their phone and they're screaming at somebody. You know what I mean? You got to because I feel like I'm all of a sudden right in the middle of it, and I try to avoid confrontation like that at all costs. I'm really good at de-escalation. I put a crazy guy in a taxi cab to get him out of a store I was managing one time.
Wow.
I was really sweet to him, and I lowered him outside, and he was saying he had gotten dropped off there in an Uber, but he didn't have any money to get an Uber home, and he wanted to go to this other store. And so I said, well, let me get you a cab, brother. I don't mind. It might have been like $9 or something because he wasn't going very far. But got him far enough away from me that he was somebody else's problem. He didn't get mad at me.
Nice.
Some people are challenging you to radically accept them with their behavior.
I stopped a stripper from getting into a fight outside of the Pink concert with a cigarette.
I do love that. You stopped her by giving her a cigarette?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like all of this fighting that was happening, and there was this white lady who had like a white leather jacket on, and she was screaming at these ladies who were standing on the corner. And I had met the one woman in the concert, and I remembered her name. Well, actually, I asked Jeff if he remembered her name. So I called her name over. I was like, "You doing all right?" And she's like, "No, who the are you?" And then I was like, I go, "Do you want a cigarette?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so we walked across away from the fight that was happening so that she didn't get into a fight. And I saved her.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. You know?
saved her life.
No, I think I just saved her from like a really
From getting fucked up
crappy,
in that fight right then.
Yeah.
That would have been bad.
From like getting arrested or, you know.
You don't want that.
No.
What brand of cigarette was it?
It was a Camel Turkish Silver.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that'll save you.
Totally.
If I went back, I'd probably go Newports.
I'm not offering anyone a cheap cigarette.
Are Newports cheap?
Yeah. You heard it here first. Aren't they those ones with the are in Parliament?
I feel
Have
like
you ever
they're
had
mids.
Mids.
have you ever had a Parliament?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Parliaments.
Horrible.
Oh, with the recessed filter?
Yeah, that was my brand.
Oh,
What?
Yes.
Parliament Light
Those are
Menthol,
expensive.
brother.
Those are like the Cadillacs of cigarettes.
How much were they?
Oh,
When
now
I-
they're like probably $10 or $11.
I smoke
They're-
American Spirit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the crunchy cigarettes.
The Parliament?
No, the
Oh.
American Spirits. Those are the
What makes them crunchy?
the granola. I just talking style, personality wise.
Oh, thank you so much. Do
Yeah.
I come across as granola?
Yeah,
'Cause
you
I'm
look,
not.
You look like you're like making mead or something at home.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It's be good. It's like honey. You make booze.
It's
out of
fermented,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah, you ferment it.
Honey.
Yeah, my thing is the reason I never made my own hooch is I couldn't store enough to keep up with my consumption.
You should make your own hooch though, because you sound so good when you say it.
Yeah, but I'm California sober for the troops.
Me too. Mostly because I don't like to get hungover anymore.
Yeah, we're too old. That was
Yeah.
the big thing. My body finally said, okay, the rest of us can catch up to this. This is too crazy. And we can't, I mean, you've seen how I get.
I have.
Yeah. Is there one of those that stands out to you right now?
Yeah. Yes.
You could tell us. It's okay.
For real?
Yeah.
I think the last time that I experienced you like just completely blotto was when I don't know how the night started, but we ended up at the Cherry Lounge.
Sure.
And you and I were just drinking at Cherry Lounge, and
We left Weber's
yeah.
in your little Corolla.
Yeah. No, I never had a Corolla.
Camry.
It was a neon. The one that got stolen, wasn't
Oh.
it? Green?
I was fucked up. I have no idea.
It was your car, actually.
You drove my car?
I think it might have been your car.
I definitely wasn't driving.
No, you definitely were not. And then I had to take you back to Kirkwood, to your mom's house. Well, I think because you lived there.
Yeah, that would make sense. Thank
Yeah.
God. Mm-hmm. But who was at Cherry Lounge? Weren't we meeting?
No one. It was you and I. We were just hanging out.
Oh, I just wanted to go there?
Yeah. There was a bad ex at the time, I think.
Of mine?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Or like it just an unpleasant one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't remember the circumstances. I just know that you and I ended up going to the Cherry Lounge because I liked going there, and I also liked hanging out with you. So it was like, yeah.
Yeah, there was a patch up. When me and Keenan first started dating, we were hanging out at the Cherry Lounge. A little bit. So that's that summer that would have been. And, you know, I had a good time. I don't really miss getting terribly fucked up. I did just enough to have stuff to talk about, but, you know, I survived. Never had a DUI.
Good for you.
I know, isn't that crazy? That surprises people.
It's so
I think.
crazy.
Because it's bad, folks. Don't drive. Especially anymore. You
No.
can have Gary pick you up via one of your favorite rideshare apps. What else is going on? Was there What was the name of the segment you were talking about?
Oh, who hurt you?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, most recently, it was some lady while I was trying to get out of the car to come in here. I opened my door, and then she screamed because apparently I opened my door to get out of the car while she was driving. So she hurt me.
Yeah. Do you feel like traffic is getting worse?
Absolutely.
What is that about?
Gravois is nuts.
Gravois is really bad. Hampton's
It's so
awful.
bad.
Kings Highway's awful.
It's all the road work.
But why are they doing all that? They got to cut it out.
Yeah, they do.
There's big segments of the highway closed.
Yeah.
That's why.
Right.
So people are not just wrapping all the way around.
Yeah.
Because they got to wrap that up. They've been building 55 since they built it.
No kidding.
And you know what I'm saying?
I do.
That's like sometimes I say, all my grandchildren will be cousins, which is logistically the sense. But I mean that in that St. Louis isn't diverse enough, and that I feel like I know everybody. So eventually, we're all going to be related. We need to open up the border, get them all in here.
My moving company hurt me.
What did they do to you?
It was almost perfect, and then they had the service where you where they.
Are you moving?
I had already moved. I
When?
just moved this past weekend.
Where'd you move?
Over here, and this,
Jeff and I are
over
now
here.
looking.
I don't want to dox my
Over
location.
yonder.
No,
Yeah.
I get it. We're
Much closer to
over
the
in this
studio.
area, but yeah.
Almost perfect. And so the service takes apart your furniture and puts it back together for you. So we have a bed that is one of those like retractable, movable beds or whatever. So you take up a part in the middle, and there's two
A
legs.
hospital bed?
It's a hospital
Kind of, yeah. But
Oh, thank you.
they put it back together, and I saw that there's missing a leg on there. And if you sit in the middle of the bed, it like bows in.
Oh no.
You know? So I called them. I was like, they're missing my leg, and they can't find it. And so I'm in the middle of a battle with them. Like,
That's the worst because that's gonna hurt your back.
I need my bed leg.
it's unusable. I'm gonna break it in half.
Yeah.
So
Well, Christ Jesus, I'm going to raise that up in prayer.
please.
Guys, thanks for coming back to Jacob V Weekly. As always, check out patreon.com/JacobV. It's the only way to support this show financially. But also, we want you to check out CaddyshackIL.org. If you have a nonprofit mood in your heart, we have saved thousands of cats, and you could save a life or 9. CaddyshackIL.org. Tim, I love you.
I love you too.
Lucius, I love you.
Lou, I love you.
I love you.
And we love all of you. We'll see you next week.
That was fun. That was so fun.